Welcome into the latest edition of the Stealing with the Boys podcast. I am your host, Junior Riddle, here, along with my boys.
Juwan Williams.
Coach Campbell.
And fellas, it's like yearly clockwork around here, guys. You know, as soon as we think we're dead in the water and Steelers lose a couple games in a row, you know, teams that in situations that we don't think that they should lose in, they come out and win a game and look amazing against a team that they have no business beating. I mean, coming into the day, the Colts had the best record in the NFL. They were the number one seed in the AFC. They still might be the number one seed in the AFC. Had only 4 turnovers all season. They had 6 total. Jonathan Taylor was looking unstoppable on the field. Multiple 3-touchdown games, and the Steelers held him to nothing. Nothing. So, fellas, big win, much needed win by the boys in black and gold. Your all's reaction to the Colts win on Sunday?
Trey, you want to go?
I'll start. Man, I kept telling Jawan, we watched together at Live Oak, and I kept telling him, like, don't get excited just yet. Like, I feel like we dominated that game after their first possession. Their first possession, I was telling Jawan, I was like, dude, we might lose by 60. And then the boys turned it on. Defense got rolling finally. They used Nick Herbig a lot more this game, which was very key, I believe, to the success of the defense and the turnovers and just splash plays. Peyton Wilson had a coming out party, and even Jack Sawyer made some plays. So it was nice to see. I was very excited, though, towards the end of the game, or like end of the third quarter. I was like, we dominated this team. We proved that we can dominate an elite team this year. I don't want to put the Colts in that category yet. Looking at some of the teams that they've played, and like, I think a lot of their stats or the way they've been playing have been boosted by the teams that they've been playing against. But no, I was very. I mean, they have the number one offense in the NFL. Like that alone, no matter who you play in the NFL, like that's huge to put up a defensive performance like that. And then late in the game, again, I mean, I feel like we controlled the game the whole game, but late in the game, just letting them score and get back into it, and then Jawan's boy Roman Wilson just boneheaded play. But man, I'm excited. I think that shows the team we can be. Now we just have to put it together week in and week out. And I think another big part of it, I wanted to say this, is that 2005 Super Bowl team was in the building. I think that had a big part of the way they came out and played, and the aggression and just passion they had to play with that game.
So, I'll start by saying this. At the bar, like you could tell, like the energy was down in the first quarter. Everybody in there was like it looked like everybody in there was sad. Like we didn't have no chance. But I knew we had a chance. But I didn't want to get my hopes up because we should have won last week with Green Bay. But overall, good game. Like how you said, Peyton Wilson coming out party. Shout out to my guy Mount Washington out there looking like a beast at 6'7". That's crazy. The how
That's
athletic he is.
crazy. That's crazy, Jude.
Hey, I listen. I teach middle schoolers from time to time. You know, I pick up a few things here and there.
Yeah,
That's
but
so
overall,
good.
it was a great game. I know the fourth quarter we was in prevent, like we just didn't want to give up a big score because we was already up. Roman Wilson, I really wanted him traded today. Not gonna lie. I wanted him gone. Like
Last
one,
week he's like Roman Wilson's gonna ball out.
yeah, and then he balled out all right. The ball came out his hand. He fumbled with what 2 minutes left. But
Oh man.
something that nobody is talking about, the coverage that Jalen Ramsey put on Tyler Warren, for the rest of the season, he needs to cover all tight ends.
Mike
'Cause,
Tomlin did say today in his presser that he'll be playing like full time free safety, which I think is the best move for the defense right now.
yeah,
But
we need it. We need it. Now, DB wise, Slay.
And you know what it kind of reminds me of, guys. It kind of reminds the move of putting Jalen Ramsey back at free safety. I know it was done for injury reasons and maybe to give Eccles more of an opportunity to play corner because he can play corner, and obviously Jalen back there. I mean, how many times have we seen our brick hand safeties back there dropping easy interceptions? I don't think Ramsey's going to do that. But it kind of reminds me of how last year the Ravens defense, although they had a ton of big names on there, were 32nd in the NFL. And then they move Kyle Hamilton. They take him out of that nickel, kind of playing in the box, and they move him back into the backside of the defense. And it just completely turned their defense around, knowing that they had a playmaker back there. I think moving Ramsey back and letting him kind of do that and roam around and be more of a, free safety ball hawk, kind of taking Minka's position, really. If we're sitting here kind of breaking it down, I mean I think it's an excellent move. Let's see where it goes. Let's see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out long term, that hopefully they'll adjust again and see similar results. But I hear y'all a lot about winning the game and how they kept it close. Listen, boys, they won the game. And not only did they win the game, they dominated most of it, and they kept control of it till the very. I mean, there was not one. Again, in my mind, I'm like, there's a possibility, but I was never really fearful, that the Colts were going to come back and win that game after the
I
Steelers
agree.
kind of held that 3-score lead initially in the third quarter. So, the Steelers played it safe. Yeah, they let the Colts come back in, but it was never like that, like they let him back in and we're like, oh my gosh, they're about to come back and beat us. I think there's a big difference in that aspect. And so I think we should be more happy the Steelers won. I think we should be more happy the defense came out and made plays, that they shut down the number one running back in the league this year. They held him to nothing. Daniel Jones looked like he had a Giants helmet back on. Like, these are all super positive things. And on top of that, the offense continues to look consistent. Guys, I have zero complaints about this game. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Them getting back in the win column and doing so against, again, the number one team in the NFL, in the number one team in the AFC. This is one that when you're talking about playoffs and tiebreakers, no matter how it comes down towards the end, this is a very important win to get. So just going ahead and getting it, knowing Mike Tomlin's record and how Shane Steichen has diced us up the last 3 years, this one was huge to me. The Colts are probably one of the most overall well-rounded rosters in the entire NFL. And with
Would you guys?
Daniel Jones playing the way that he has up until this last game, he was playing at a top 10 quarterback level. But again, Steelers take away Jonathan Taylor, take away that ability for play action and those quick crossers, and just fundamentally what the Colts want to do on offense. It goes through the run game with Taylor. The fact they shut him down and then continue to shut the rest down, it speaks volumes to me. It really does, fellas. So I don't think we should hone in too much about how they kind of let them in, and Roman Wilson making a mistake. Oh my God, Roman Wilson he's essentially a rookie. Like, he made a rookie mistake. So I'm not too concerned about it, fellas. But overall, I think it was a really, really good win.
Oh, I agree, and like we were talking about, yeah. I mean, I feel like we had control of that game pretty much the whole game. I mean, the first drive really that the Colts had really worried me because they didn't even run the ball in the first drive. They threw the ball the whole game. And then just one thing I want to touch on with Jalen Ramsey, him just playing safety, he comes down and hits too. Like, if you have a free safety that's willing to come down in the bot, like fly down into the box and make a hit on a tight end and a running back, if they were to break loose, like, that's huge. And it kind of reminds me of like I know they were talking about it. Jalen was talking about it before the season about being like a Swiss Army knife. Like Rod Woodson later in his career, moved back to safety from corner and had success and like extended his career a couple of years. I think this extends Jalen's career in the sense of like he can still be productive from the safety position, and he has that IQ with being in the league for so long and just being a ball player. Um, I'm really excited to see how he develops at safety, and this it helps the defense out. You could see it. And one other guy we didn't mention is Kyle Duggar coming into the game, only had 2 practices with us. Was one trade that we made. I know you guys are talking about us not making trades, or Jawan's not talking about not making trades, but we made a trade and Kyle Duggar made a big impact in that game. Whether you didn't hear his name called, and that's a good thing for a safety. He didn't get beat on any plays. Like he had a couple good nice plays in man coverage. Like I talked to one of my Patriots or my friends that are Patriots fans, and they were saying Kyle Duggar can't cover anything, can't do this, this, and this. Dude made plays. He made the tackles when he needed to, and he had a couple good man coverage reps against Tyler Warren, who's one of the best tight ends in the league as a rookie.
I agree. If there and if and also I need to make mention of this. Like I don't think we're hitting this talking point home enough. Aaron Rodgers is tied for third in touchdown passes in the entire NFL. Like only Matthew Stafford with 21 and Justin Herbert with 18 have more passing touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers currently with the Steelers. And so, I said that in the preseason I didn't want Rodgers, that I would, rather us, kind of go with Mason Rudolph and use this as a reset year and try and go get our quarterback in the draft next year. I mean, I said all those things. And this man, Aaron Rodgers, is just making me eat crow. And he's been playing great. He's been playing consistent. He's been the leader. I mean, he's holding guys accountable on that offense, getting in people's stuff, but still rallying and being one of the guys. Um, I'm just going to keep hitting this home all season long about how wrong I was about Aaron Rodgers, because he is, 17 touchdowns and 5 interceptions through 8 games. I mean, we're technically with the 17-game season, we're not halfway through the season yet, and so he already has 17 touch. I mean, it's just incredible what he's able to do, and also shout out to the offensive line as well. Um, those two components were our biggest question marks coming into this season, and to be honest with you, throughout the duration of the first 8 games, those two things have been the strength. Offensive line has progressively gotten better, and Aaron Rodgers has been pretty consistent throughout all 8 games. And so, I mean, man, shout out to those guys and how they're playing and continue to play super well.
I would also like to say with the whole with Jalen Ramsey, the night before, him and Johnny were the vocal leaders at the team meeting.
Mm.
And Jalen was basically saying that this team has a chance to make it all the way. Of course, it has its up and downs. This year, I can say there's no clear favorite in the NFL. I think we're still in the mix, even though we as Steeler fans be emotional each and every week. If we lose, we think that we're done for the season. If we win, we think we can be that team. I think that we're at a great space right now. And I also think that the pressure that the Ravens are putting on us is helping us in the long run, I think. Because for them, Lamar Jackson's back. Ravens just beat the Dolphins. So now they're 3-5. If we would have lost this game, they would have been 1 game out of first place. So, it's just something to think about. I feel like the team knows like it's our division to lose, and we shouldn't lose it.
I want to just mention, Junie, you were saying with the touchdown passes. I want to mention one thing I don't really like about that and what they're doing is that there's just we were at me and Jawan were talking about we were at like the 5-yard line, first first and goal from the 5 or something like that, and we threw the ball 3 or 4 times, like, and you saw what Jalen Warren did when he got the ball within the 5. Like he was getting in the end zone. He was being aggressive, running over people to get into the end zone. Like I think we need a steady mix when we get closer to the red zone. It's just been a lot of passing, and I know that's like been working for us, but I still want to see us run the ball, especially on first down and second or even second down. Like he's taking a lot of chances throwing the ball in the red zone, and I think a lot of them are like RPOs, and Aaron's kind of just doing it. Sometimes just let Jalen Warren pound the ball in the end zone. Like,
I will say this though, Jalen had 2 touchdowns in this game, but it really wasn't him that was getting going on offense though. I
oh,
mean,
100%.
16 carries, 31 yards. I mean, it's not even 2 yards a carry.
No, I
And
agree.
so
I'm
it's
just
just with that Colts defensive line, their weakness is in their secondary, and kind of I feel like what you're talking about is when they kind of threw it to Darnell Washington a couple times. When their weakness is their secondary, and you got big tight end, big body. I feel like that was more of a matchup situation that they were trying to expose. Now, again, hindsight being what it is, we can yeah they were forcing it, but all in all, though, like all day long, if there was one critique of the offense, it would be the lack of an established running game. And
yeah.
so I don't know. I don't listen. Things don't work in the NFL in football all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. Like it didn't work, but even the Colts with the Steelers' identity, I'm sure they were kind of shocked, like, oh, they passed it 3 times. It's trying to throw the defense off guard, and it's also a matchup thing to where we're not running the ball well, and their secondary is really the one weakness that they have on their team, and they were trying to exploit it with a veteran quarterback. So I don't know. I wouldn't look too much into that. I don't think it was necessarily Jalen's day with going up against that D line in particular, but that's just I wouldn't critique that too much. That's just
I
me.
will say that I'm glad the Colts didn't make that trade a week before and get Sauce
Yeah,
Gardner.
Sauce
Like,
Gardner going to the Colts, dude.
yeah,
That is that's something right there, man.
a massive trade.
That is something right there. Imagine having to see Sauce twice, see him in week 1 and then see him again, but
Yeah.
with a significantly better roster. That would not have been fun.
Also, I would say this is my one negative about the defense. I
Okay.
mean, I got plenty, but one negative. We got to stop running this cover 2.
He was turning. That was the
it-
first drive, though. But yeah, I agree.
It was bad, bro. Like they
Dicing
was
it up.
killing us. They were killing us. Slay. Can we talk about Slay? Can we just, I seen a video of Slay covering Jedi last year. I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between his coverage last year and what he's doing with us this year. Every single game, it feels like he gets hurt. He's old.
He's
He's
30.
getting
Hey,
up
we
there.
said that when we signed him though, a 34-year-old corner. Like that is because we were making the comparison to Joe Hayden, and Joe Hayden was I mean, what was he? His last year with us, he was 31. We got him when he was like 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Slay's old. And again, you could talk about how he played last year. He had been with the Eagles for years. And we know like it's an adjustment when you go to a new team and a new scheme and do all this other stuff. Like typically players that are older that move to new teams have a drop off just because of the unfamiliarity and being in a new place and a new system. So I just when we signed him, I was never truly on board with that. Um, and so I think it's kind of a little bit worse than even what I had expected it to be. But all in all, yeah, he has not been the commodity that he was in Philadelphia. That's for sure.
No, I agree. I think Darius Slay, he's just getting up there, and like I mean the scheme. I feel like there were two different schemes. Like we don't really we don't really run the same. I mean, we run the same coverages. Every team runs the same coverage, but like I just feel like our tendencies are a lot different than what the Eagles' tendencies are. Defensive side of the ball, anyway. And I didn't think he was a great fit when we signed him. I mean, I like the veteran presence in the locker room and in that corner room, and I was hoping he could groom maybe Corey Trice a little bit, but that obviously doesn't seem like it's working out. Corey Trice is just can't get on the field, stay on the field. Um, I wonder if he has a big like I don't even know how to say this, but like Nichols, is it Nichols?
Eccles.
Eccles. I feel like he might have a big influence on Eccles. Like Eccles has been playing out of this world, and I know Junie's big on Eccles, and you know I feel like Eccles' progression is the reason that Jalen's able to slot back into that free safety role and be a big factor there. So I'm excited. I'm excited. This the way the defense played this week has me excited to see how they progress, and maybe they just found the right piece to the puzzle and put them in different spots. Like I said, Kyle Duggar coming in and balling out like that in 2 days of practice, it's just huge. It's huge to see, and I think it's that safety tandem can be something special for the rest of the year.
And let's not forget this either. Jabril Peppers and Duggar play together in New England. So those guys
Yep.
have chemistry and know each other already. So even if they did want to put Jalen Ramsey back at one of the corner positions, that kind of gives you some flexibility and just some extra depth there in the secondary.
Yep.
I highly underrated trade there, just
Oh,
based off of
100%.
what we've seen so far. But again, it's one game. Let's see how it maturates and progresses. But let's continue to go down this trade deadline conversation here. Even though I was busy as could be today at work, I was checking the phone as much as I could do. I had to, and then I saw Jacoby Meyer got dealt, and then I saw
For
Rashid
nothing.
Shaheed got dealt, and I was
For a
like,
bag of chips.
oh no, what are we gonna? I was like, what are we gonna do? And so then, the whole the wheels started turning, thinking that we might get Jalen Waddle. And when 4 o'clock hit and nothing came out, man, I mean, it was a little bit deflating. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought you put another wide receiver on this team and we could be cooking with some gas, but nope. It doesn't appear that that's the case, and they're gonna roll with what they have. Guys, I was disappointed. I'm not like crushed about it. I don't think it's the end of the world, but I know some of y'all have some different opinions. So, Joanne, I want to start with you because you were pretty animated that no deal got done today.
You want to know why I was animated?
Go on.
Let me start by understand this. These two, Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin. Beginning of the year, they said we're going all in, right? You would think we're going to get Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu, Darius Slay, DK. We're trying to move in the right direction to get a championship, right? Then this morning, let me play the video for us. This morning, this guy right here. Let's see what he says. Let's just hear what he says.
Guys would be buyers at the trade deadline. You already bought one, and Kyle Duggar. Do you anticipate shopping around a little bit more before 4 o'clock?
We'll see what happens. I like shopping.
He likes shopping, right? He loves shopping. What did we shop today? He talking about window shopping. He got to tell you about window shopping because we don't have nobody. I know we tried to get Myers, but we got to have a plan B and plan C, plan D. All I'm saying is, you're cool with keep on bringing his name up. Darius Slay, 34 years old, keep on getting hurt. You're cool with that. I hope we sign Asante Samuel Jr. I hope. I hope that's the vision that we go with. But you're basically telling me that this wide receiver core can get us over the hump. But we're shopping. He likes.
I just want to say I was the same way you were. I was like, we need a trade. We need this, and this. And then the more I thought about it during the day, and then even at the gym, I was thinking about like I just feel like the offense isn't that problem, and the way we have been playing our tight ends the last few weeks, like I feel like we're moving in the right direction on that side of the ball. Um, it would have been another mouth to feed, but I mean, Aaron's doing a good job of spreading the ball around. He's getting it to everybody. Everybody's getting involved, and like the more I thought about it, the less disappointed I was. At the beginning, as soon as it turned 4 o'clock and we had nothing, I was like, what are we doing? We're not trading for anybody, not even like a guard, because Siomalu might be out for a little bit. I was a little upset, but then, like I said, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, the offense has been rolling, and they're starting to figure out how to get all three of the tight ends involved. And it's not something that most teams we play see very often. That many tight ends being able to get the ball. And then you have a speedster like Calvin Austin, and then obviously you have DK Metcalf. So I'm not as upset as you are, Jawan, but it did, like, when that deadline hit, I was like, this is I don't know what we're doing. I don't know why we haven't. And then seeing that video, man, I got so hyped when I saw that video of Mike Tomlin saying that. I was like, oh, we're getting somebody. There's no way we go through to the deadline
What?
without anybody.
So Jacoby Meyer got traded to Jacksonville for a 4th and a 6th. I saw that. What did Rashid Shaheed go for?
Oh, I
Okay.
think a fifth. in the
A
season.
Fifth or
5th?
sixth.
Yeah.
Fifth or sixth.
It's like we have 12 picks. What are we gonna do with them?
Oh my gosh.
See, that's one that would have upset me the most. Is
That's a steal in value
Yeah.
right there.
yeah,
Rashid Shaheed for a 5th or 6th.
yeah.
Let
I
me
mean,
make
he's
sure.
got he's got breakaway speed.
Let me make sure. Make sure real quick. But
I
Yeah.
think maybe they were looking at, while you look at that, I think maybe they were looking at, like, we got Calvin already. I don't know how big
He's
Rashid is.
6-foot guy. He's a 6-foot guy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That one did make sense to me. Like, we went after Jacoby Myers, that was cool and all.
They must like, listen, say what you want. I was on his case a few weeks ago. Roman Wilson has shown some flashes here in the last few weeks. It was a boneheaded play to jump and go for that after he already got the first down. I get it. He's out there trying
Imagine
to
if he
make an
wouldn't
effort.
have fumbled, though. We would have been like, oh, he got some bounce. He had some moves there. Like, he broke a tackle. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I think Roman Wilson still has the chance to have a breakout game here coming up soon. Hopefully, if he's not in Mike Tomlin's doghouse for that. But yeah, it still was just weird that we didn't go and get somebody, even
was a
to like
fourth and a
even
fifth.
to entice Aaron Rodgers to come back.
It was a 4th and a 5th.
A 4th and a 5th for Shaheed.
Yeah,
So he
that's
went.
a
So
good value.
he was technically more expensive than Meyer. Well,
Yeah.
then that's not as much of a steal as I thought it was, but still,
I think the
mean,
Jacoby Myers was a steal though.
mm,
For a 4th and a 6th.
That's a steal, Julie. But like I said, we got 12 picks. What are we gonna do with them?
We're gonna use them to trade up and get a wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers next year. We ain't getting a quarterback.
Oh, wait. So let me get this straight, Trey. You're on the Aaron Rodgers coming back train.
Oh yeah, I want Aaron Rodgers to come back. The way he's been playing, if he finishes the season, I could see, unless we win a Super Bowl, if we go to the playoffs, win a playoff game, I think he gives it one more ride.
Do you think? Okay, I got a question now for everybody. Do you think that this can be a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love thing? Like Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard?
mm,
I don't know.
maybe. No,
Right.
I'm not gonna throw it out on that. And I'll add to that. I think that's not a bad idea because a guy like Will Howard coming in is such a project that, normally if Will Howard were to go to a franchise that didn't have something like this together, he probably would get thrown in the mix and not do well and fall flat on his face and lose his confidence and probably not be in a great situation. But the fact that the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers, a first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner, multiple time MVP winner. And then they can have him for 2 years, and Will Howard can just sit and soak all of that knowledge in. I mean, Jordan Love was the same way. Jordan Love had a ton of talent, super raw, coming out of what was it, Utah State he played for. And then, when he got thrown into the game here and there because Rodgers got hurt, he looked awful. Like Jordan Love looked awful. And then after he kept sitting and kept learning and kept waiting, he came in, and now Jordan Love, like, say what you want about him, he's a gunslinger, but he is pretty solid quarterback.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't think that's a bad philosophy at all. But I don't want Will Howard getting in the mix next year. The year after that, let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got. But I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad thought process, Joanne. I really don't.
Yes, it is something to think about. I also want to note this is what pisses me off. Sunday, the Carolina Panthers beat the Packers at home. I'm starting to think it was the jerseys.
I think it's the throwback jerseys. As soon as you throw those on, especially when they're ugly.
I'm going to say this right now, and I had to go look it and double check it. The Carolina Panthers are 5-4 right now.
They are.
Listen. Carolina Panthers are not a slouch team anymore. I'm just saying.
Rico Dowdle, I picked him up on waivers, and that dude is balling for my fantasy.
He's cooking. Yeah. Listen. I drafted what is it? Is it Chuba Hubbard? Yeah, he's looking like a bum now because of Rico Dowdle and what he's doing. And I had doubts about Tet McMillan, their first round pick that they got out of Arizona, and I mean he's been balling too. Anyway, this ain't a Panthers podcast. We're not going to get into the Panthers, but it is what it is. If we would have kept playing the way we were playing in the first half against the Packers, we win that game. Same thing with Cincinnati. Those are two games that I feel like the way we came out and started those games, we should have won. But it is what it is. Make adjustments. You learn in season, and we are where we are. Hopefully, what they have done now steamrolls them into a run against some of these upper echelon teams that we're going to continue to play. This Chargers game coming up. We got the Bears. The Bears have been playing pretty well. You got the Ravens twice with Lamar. Like, we got some heaters coming up, and we're going to need
too, don't we?
Yeah, we got and Lions, Bills and Lions. I mean, we got some squads coming up, fellas. And so it's going to be tough sledding. Now, to wrap things up in today's show, I want to bring up a conversation that I think would be really interesting. We were talking a little bit about it in the group chat. I hope Juwan knows where I'm going with this. Juwan believes the Steelers are a better team right now than the Ravens. And I want to bring that topic up up here on the pod.
Let's talk about it.
So, Juwan, you think right now, head to head, the Steelers are a better team than the Baltimore Ravens?
Yes.
Trey, what do you think about that?
Their defense is terrible. Like, it's bad.
They just got a bunch of people back. They were
missing like Roquan and who else were they missing?
Kyle Hamilton was out for 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
I would say right now, shoot, I don't know. If that Colts game would have went any differently, I'd probably say the Ravens. But I mean, the Steelers, I think it's going to be a great game, period. But right now, the way Aaron's playing as well, and if the defense plays like it did, and we have Lamar's number like we normally do, I'd say right now, head to head, we would probably win that game, depending on where it's at. Like I think we're very even. Let me just put it that way. I think we're even right now. I think we're playing the way we played against the Colts. We're playing pretty similar to what the Ravens got going on right now. I think our defense is potentially our defense should be better than them if they play the way they did, and our offense could keep up with them. Our offense is averaging.
You saying should be? I think they are.
Well, our defense.
The Ravens defense was playing bad because they were missing guys. We have everybody. Like we didn't have
everybody this game.
We don't have everybody.
Who we missing?
Elliott.
Elliott,
Okay, Elliott's good.
Jabril
Elliott's
Peppers
good.
wasn't in there. I know he hasn't played much for us yet, but Cole
All right,
Holcomb was out this game.
here-
Cole Holcomb was out this game.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say about it. I think I think we're at where we are last year, to be honest, against Ravens wise. We play them at home, we can edge them out. We play them in Baltimore when they're healthy with Lamar. I think the results are, they
They're
are
not
what they
like
are.
last year. They're not like the.
Not maybe not to that extent.
We have an
Maybe not to
offense
that.
this year.
Maybe
We
not
have
to
an
that
offense this
extent.
year.
What do you mean by that? Because
Are we? Do you genuinely believe that we can, like, with them at full strength and us at full strength, that we go into Baltimore and beat them?
yes,
I don't think so. I
I
do.
think
I do not
I
think so.
it's 50-50 if I'm being honest.
I think in order for
because
us
our
to
offense. The reason I say this is because our offense is so much better, and we have Aaron Rodgers this year.
yeah, if we had Russ, we'd suck.
Like we can play shootout games. You saw that with the I mean, we didn't win the Bengals game, but we can score points with anybody.
Okay, all right.
That's the only reason.
Listen,
That's literally the only reason is because our offense is so much better than it was last year.
fair
I still
enough.
think they run the ball all over us, but
Fair
I
enough.
mean, but the way we just shut down Jonathan Taylor, only had 45 yards.
Yeah. And the run. Well, no, I shouldn't even say that. I mean, the run defense has played well the last 2 weeks, but before that, Chase Brown was running all over us, and everybody was running all over us. So I just don't know until I can see some consistency on this defensive end. I just don't necessarily know if our offense is enough to keep up with Lamar. Because there again, who have we played that is even close to Lamar?
We
Nobody.
just played.
Nobody.
there's nobody in the league like Lamar. But
That's cool.
what
That's
I
cool.
want to say is we'll see this Sunday night because the Chargers are a good team. They like to run the ball, and they got a pretty decent defense as well. But
Actually,
Justin Herbert is balling.
I'm here to say it. The way they just played against, let them play like how they just did with the Titans against us.
But we've seen we don't play back-to-back weeks the same way.
We not losing.
We haven't played a game like that besides against the Patriots, and that's when our offense didn't do anything.
We're not losing 2 Sunday night games. I'm here to say it.
We'll talk about that Sunday.
Well, that's talk. Hey, you'll have to stay tuned in and tap in on Sunday, because that's what we're gonna have to get into then. Because man, I think this game right here, Chargers, Steelers. I mean, 2 teams battling for the playoffs, 2 teams in their divisional races fighting. I mean, the AFC West is between them, Denver, and Kansas City. I mean, every game for them is important. So this is going to have playoff implications for both teams, and I just think going forward, whether you're 6-3 and 5-4 going into the second half of the season, because 9-game mark is right there in the middle. I mean, that's going to be a big difference. So I think this is a massive game on Sunday night. And Juwan, it sounds like you're pretty confident. I think it's one of those games that could go either way. I think both teams are super talented, and we know how the Steelers play when they go out west. They typically struggle when they go out west. So we shall see. But for tonight, fellas, do we have any questions from the audience, Juwan? Do we have anybody popping in on some questions tonight?
No, but I do have a video that we haven't talked about.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That's cool. Hold on. Let me bring it up. Shout out to this guy right here. Shout out. Let's just watch this. Let's watch greatness at this line. This line with Fontanu finally healthy. What does he do? Put a hammer on him. Look at him.
I do want to talk about this too.
That's what I like to see right there. That's what I like to see.
Hey, we're building an offensive line for the future, man. That they're all young. Seumalo's the vet. They got so much room to grow.
If Broderick Jones continues to get better like he has this season, I'm really liking where the offensive line is going, fellas. I'm really, really liking where the
He just
offensive
got to get Malo back.
Yeah. Need to get him back, but what again, you talk about who we gonna get with those 12 draft picks. I'm gonna tell offensive guards are gonna be one of them, fill that last spot and
The
try and get somebody in there.
interior line is going to be.
But run them deep, man. But
I have a
no,
question
shout
before we
shout
go.
out Faltanu, man. I mean, he has been maybe him and Frazier
You
right
haven't heard
there
his
as the
name.
two
You
best.
haven't heard his name. You haven't heard his name, and that's a great thing for a tackle.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Okay. So, dang, I lost the question. Jeez, I just had it. I just had the question. Oh, got it. Do y'all think now, with the way things are going with this team, okay? Do you think that we end the season over under 6 losses?
With our schedule,
You want me to read the schedule out?
I know what the schedule is.
I got it
We got
right. I
three.
got to write it here already up. I mean, it's Chargers, Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens,
We have
Dolphins,
3
Lions,
losses. We have
Browns.
3 losses.
Yeah.
I think we finished right at 6 losses. Right
I
at
think
6.
I think Bills and Lions are for sure a loss.
You think so?
Yeah.
After the Colts? We thought the Colts
Yeah.
was lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say we split those two.
I'm saying 10-7. I'm saying 10-7.
Does that
Same
win us the
11
division?
11-6.
It could 10-7 could win us the division.
Mm-hmm.
With how far the Ravens have to get, and with the Bengals being, I mean, they already have 6 losses. The Bengals do. They're 3-6, I believe.
And the Ravens will pretty much have to run the table too.
Yeah, because I think we split with the Ravens. I think we lose to the Bills and Lions, and then really I think we also split the Bears and the Chargers game. I think we win one of those and lose one of those. And I think I think that's how it rolls. I think we're right at 10-7, but I mean we're 10-7 with a pretty stout schedule for this year, I'd say.
Even Rodgers owning the Bears?
No, that's what I said. I think we split Chargers Bears. Bears have been good. Bears are 5-3 too. And we're playing in Chicago, which we have historically struggled in. Not saying that has any impact on this season, but historically we struggled in Chicago, and they're playing really, really well.
You know who hasn't struggled in Chicago? Aaron Rodgers.
That's true.
You got to remember the man we have behind center.
That is true. I think that's what it comes down to. I think if they beat the Chargers and Bears, and they split with the Ravens, they'll be 11-6. But I just, with how inconsistent this team is, I just think that. And there could be one of those Mike Tomlin games. I mean, they could lose to the Dolphins, or
lose to the Bengals again.
or they lose in Cleveland. I mean, we struggle playing in Cleveland. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. So any of those things would be. But I'm saying right there, it's either going to be 11-6, 10-7. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably lean towards 10-7. That's where I'm at.
We're at 11-6.
I'm going 11-6.
All right. Well, hey, we got a big game Sunday night. Chargers, Steelers, 2 playoff teams competing for spots in the AFC. It is going to be a wild one. I expect a lot of offense in this game playing in SoFi Stadium. It should be electric. Stay tuned. We will be going live doing a game preview on Sunday, likely before the first slate of games. So come in here and check out Stealing with the Boys podcast for all your latest game day updates, betting, all that good stuff. Follow us on all the socials here. But for Stealing with the Boys podcast, though, we are out.
11-6.